Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be a short range outlook, short range forecast. There's actually not much to talk about other than one system that will be making its way into the north, mixing in with a clipper system from the north and a little bit of moisture from the south. Those two combined may produce a little bit of snow across the Midwest, but very miserable amounts. I'll show you in just a minute. It will. It's really rare that we see such minimal snow coverage in almost January, the peak of winter at this time of the year. So, if you'd like to support this, what I do, maybe get a better quality, computer, help me get one. You could do so by by subscribing to this channel and by checking out my other videos. Also, if you'd like to support more directly, you could also become a patron. Just click on this button and it will lead you through the process of becoming a patron. So it's a really great thing you guys can do. And I have 3 patrons as of right now, so that's amazing. But I have not been posting much, but I will start posting more on this Patreon. So those that are my patrons will be expecting to get more and more posts. So right now, let's look at the NAM. There's not much going on at all in the country. There's a little snow shower system maybe in the northeast producing some snow around the Great Lakes. And again, this is the clipper that's coming down from the north, and it's going to produce a little bit of snow in Minnesota, North Dakota. But then this system right here, this blob of moisture, is going to push it up to the north and not going to allow it to go any further to the south. And while that happens, these two systems phase together, and this one breaks apart this piece of energy and sits around in the Rockies, southern, southwestern Rockies, and this maybe later could develop into a system that could potentially impact the southeast, but we'll have to see about that. So again, we're looking right now at that system producing very minimal snow, and the snow is going to be very far to the north in Wisconsin, Michigan, UP of Michigan, and southern Canada, and parts of the northeast, but not much snow. Typically, around this time of the year, we'd see the system being all snow around the Kansas, Missouri, Central Illinois line. But with this warm air that we've been having, guys, not much snow or cold air allowing to transition this rain to snow. So let's look at the total snowfall, and the snowfall amounts are miserable, guys. They are, I mean, you could see a little bit more in the west, some decent amounts in the northeast, but here in the Midwest, maybe 3 to 4 inches, topping out at 4 or 5 inches, which with a system like this, with this much energy, should be topping out at around, maybe a foot of snow. But again, with the minimal cold air, which I'll show you right now, the 2-meter temperature anomalies, we have very minimal cold air, and only after that system we get a cold shot of air, which isn't even going to be that great by itself. So we see a little cooler air in the southwest that just kind of disappears. The west will be fairly cool, but you could see that again right around this time of the system, Tuesday, January 1st, there's quite a bit of warm air in the east. The west is cool, and that transitions into the east later on, but then it starts warming back up. So no prolonged area of cold, no big snowstorms along the way. This is a very boring winter so far, guys. And I know many people have been complaining about it, and trust me, guys, it's not fun for me either. So let's just go to the GFS and see what it has to say about the total snowfall accumulations. It's also showing the snow, but even less amounts of snow because it's not showing the system going that far north. And the further north it goes, that's where the more cold air is. And you can see right there, maybe an inch of snow tops, and a couple of inches from that clipper coming from either Saskatchewan, Manitoba, or Alberta, and again, not producing too much snow either. So let's quickly go back to the MSLP and precip. Let's check it out, what the GFS has compared to the NAM. So again, that clipper up to the north phases together. You can see that it has that snow a little bit further to the south, but again, with less cold air to the south, it will be even less amounts of snow. And it passes on into the northeast with mainly rain, like always. And at this point in this winter, I mean, it's basically the northeast has been seeing only rain, which is a bit miserable. And you can see right there a little bit of snow down into New Mexico and Colorado yet again. So afterwards, like I said, we could see a little bit of a system here. You could see some blues, some pinks early on in the year, or earlier on in the week. It was showing a bigger system with a little bit more snow and wintry mix in the south. Right now, I mean, look at this, guys. The 540 line way up here, absolutely a boring pattern. Maybe something starts forming later on, but as of now, it's fairly miserable and doesn't look too good at all, guys. So for the winter weather lovers, we'll just have to wait yet again. And I already showed you the total snowfall for the GFS. Let's quickly go to the FV3 GFS, which I always think is a better version of the GFS. So we look through this, and again, the clipper, the warm, moist air. The FV3 GFS actually has quite a bit of moisture, quite a bit of yellows with this. So this is definitely a system that is filled with moisture, and you can see it has that snow again a little bit further than the GFS and a little bit further south than the NAM, right in between southern Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, eastern Iowa, southern Minnesota with that Clipper and North Dakota, and then into the Northeast, potentially actually seeing quite a bit of snow, but only in the way upper northern parts of the Northeast. Let's say like Maine and southern Canada, nothing like Massachusetts or Connecticut. So let's go to the total snowfall accumulations. The heaviest snowfall will be in Maine. You could see maybe up to a half a foot, maybe a little bit more. And then it's not bad snowfall amounts here in the southern Wisconsin area, maybe 5-6. So still not an impressive snowstorm. This isn't going to be a major event. And you can see right there maybe potentially another system developing in the south, which the FV3 GFS has been really trying to show and really trying to. It's basically the only model that's showing the system, and the European actually. So I mean, like I said, the FV3 GFS is the better version of the GFS. So I'm not taking this with a grain of salt, as especially when the European model is also showing you this. So let's go back, and you can see, but it's not really showing much snow. It's going to be mostly sleet and or wintry mix, and this total snowfall includes sleet. So this isn't a really accurate measurement. Let's go to the European model and see what it's showing. Can resume, and you can see that again, not much snow in general. Maybe a little bit more than NAM has been showing, and or something along with the G. It's actually probably the most showing out of all of them, but still nothing record breaking. Maybe top 7 inches. And I think this is still an over exaggerating amount. But we'll just have to wait and see. And it has it a little bit further south, maybe an inch around the Chicago area, northwest Illinois, 4 inches, eastern Iowa, again 4 inches, and then southern central Wisconsin, uh, eastern central Wisconsin around 7 inches, topping out there, and then into the northeast maybe a little bit more, but nothing impressive either. Maybe around around half a foot of snow. A foot of snow. We'll just have to wait, guys. This is not looking like a active pattern really in terms of big events. Maybe these small little systems just passing here and there, but otherwise it's just nothing special. So let's go back to the let's just ignore the storm right now, and let's see what else we could be looking at. So let's go back to MSLP and Frozen, and let's use the FV3 GFS, since like I mentioned before, I think that the FV3 GFS, the tests are on the parallel of the GFS, is a better version of the GFS. And let's just go out to our 180. That's how much I'm willing to go out into short range forecasts. And again, we have that Clipper, we have that storm, a little bit snow in southern New Mexico, northern New Mexico, southern Colorado, and again, we could have that potential little system in the south. But otherwise, guys, all the way up to 180, you can see maybe a Clipper trying to dive into the northeast, producing some scattered showers. Nothing great, and then that's the end of the forecasting period of the short range, at least. Nothing. I mean, look at the snowfall amounts. Other than that, sorry about that, but that first system that comes along, that's going to be the main producer of snow that for the next 180 hours. And then 240 hours doesn't look much better either. Maybe that one system that I showed you coming around the January 8th, 10th timeframe, but quite a bit in British Columbia and Canada, southeastern Canada as well, quite a bit maybe. But here in the Midwest, not that much. And this isn't completely unheard of. We just had a pretty large storm in the Midwest. Um, and you typically after these storms, the models and the pattern just calms down and doesn't show much until maybe it moves on and it starts showing another storm or system, but that sometimes doesn't happen for a couple of days, not even weeks, especially when we're in such an inactive period like we are right now. Let's look at some of the high resolution models. I know several people like the RGEM model. 50 only goes out to 54 hours. You could see maybe some higher snowfall accumulations, maybe some 4-inch amounts, 5-inch amounts. But again, eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and that Clipper in the north. Maybe a little bit of snow in the northwest. Let's go to the HRDPS model, and it's also doesn't go out that far, only 48 hours, so it doesn't encompass this storm that's going to be occurring on New Year's Eve. But you could see with that clipper, maybe 5 inches. I think it's overdoing it here, and you can see that those amounts are actually pretty high in the northwest. Let's go to check out one less model. I like this model the best out of the WRF models, and there's 3 WRFs models, and I like this one the best. The last one is just showing way too many showery conditions at all times. This one's probably the most realistic, but again, it only goes out to 48 hours with snow. So let's just go to radar rain / frozen and check this out. So again, right there it has that little front, or that little clipper system, that first piece of energy, and that second piece much greater and much filled with energy down to the south. And where this cold air meets up with this moisture will determine where the heaviest snow will fall. But again, the snow will be around 5-6 inches, which isn't that great for a snowstorm, where at this time of the year, the top amounts of a snowstorm in the Midwest, the top amounts should be around a foot or more. So that's basically it for today's video, guys. Again, if you want to support my channel, you could do so by becoming a Patreon. And hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully you learned something new. And I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya.